afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, a master of propaganda, hero of the Reich, defender of the fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Langaskaya between the South Gwangju, fighting here for the United States of America for the 3rd Armored Division with Airborne, Armor, and Rifle Company, versus in the North, Sturmtiger Giap, fighting for the Wehrmacht for the Reich Deutschland and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. With an MD-40 right after the Pioneers, with the Grenadier Squad there going for the Infantry Company. Gwangju going for Riflemen there. No vast surprises there. Nothing that's going to pop out any monocles and go, my lord. Nothing quite like that. Not to be particularly expected either. Bulletin-wise, we've got infantry and a pack howitzer. The pack howitzer is getting a lot more popular afterwards, pretty much suppressed on every hit, and some other bits there. We got, well, even pins. You got the extreme difficulty here. There's infantry, anti-tank, and panzerfaust. Here's a Giap here, certainly prepared for enemy armor to a certain extent, but of course, ensuring his infantry does have a bit there to repel the enemy's troops as well. Got a bit of quick barbed wiring off, ensuring there's a little cover there for his opponent's troops to hang about in. Come on, Dieter, put it up, schnell. We don't have time for this. Moving up, if you're not popping into the building there, actually rushing hit the kill. Oh, setting up in the open versus you in heavy cover. There we go. Looks like Giap here realised that was not the wisest decision there. Pulls back the MD-42 for a bit of heavy cover. Grabbing points there. Second Grenadier Squad there on the way. And moving westwards overall, but still some infantry on the right flank. The rifle they're moving about there with the M1 Garants. And we got a veteran rifle squad they called in. MD-42 sitting up nicely in the building. He could consider laying up some barbed wire more or less along these lines here. So try and make it a bit harder for his opponent to rush directly at the MD-42, but also perhaps here, that way he can sort of make the MD-42 a much more dominating presence, because Gwangju can't just rush up and deal with it directly, which means he's going to sort of move in longer areas around it, which gives the MD-42 more time to also suppress the units. Even a set on attack from several points is going to be more difficult, because again, due to the barbed wire, again, it's going to slow down elements, allowing Giap to sort of more, well, calmly choose which targets actually priorities or stop them down. There we go. Gwangju here pushing up really hard to help through the centre. 3 Rifle squads here versus Giap's 1 Grenadier Squad. Quickly forced to fall back. Here another Grenadier Squad moving up. MD-42 could try and rush over here to set up position by this area and then find to the sides of the advancing Riflemen who are sweeping full like a olive green tide. The Grenadiers are doing what they can, but they couldn't get overwhelmed here. If Gwangju right now had grenades, he could easily flush out the Grenadiers and do quite a bit of damage there, but no grenade upgrades there for Gwangju. Instead, the Grenadiers are being overwhelmed, going for the core point. MD-40 sitting up here now. We might see the Gwangju, in fact, has overextended his hand a bit there. Just clumping up a bit too much, just spreading up a bit too much, also leaving it open, thusly to an MD-42 Giap here, thusly excellently punishing Gwangju there for his hubris. With the MD-42. The buzzsaw. We got the mortar crew up here for Giap, so a bit of artillery there to help bombard the troops, also make sure that Gwangju grabs building. He can't do as much. On the other hand, of course, Gwangju's got a nice chunk of the map here, so in essence, if you sort of attack from different angles, he can really do a lot of damage there to Giap if he wants to. Of course, he just resorts to the, brute force options. He might not do quite as well. There you go. Giap pushing onwards. He could, well, they consider already here taking up aggressively versus Gwangju. Maybe rush for some Panzer Grenadiers or 222s. Half tracks also an option. We'll of course have to see what Giap actually does here versus Gwangju. Mortifier there versus the rear echelons. We got a captain on the way for Gwangju. He could have gone for lieutenant, a bit more aggressive in some senses there than the captain. Could have a lot more firepower, go for an M20. But of course, when he could go for the captain and try to rush for it, instead of course the pack howitzer. So in both options, but in a sense, if you sort of consider what kind of tempo they work at, the captain is a lot slower alongside the company command post. There's the steer, but the rest of it just doesn't quite work as swiftly compared to the platoon command post. We've got lieutenant, you got the M20, you got the A-half to go to the more faster units with a lot more firepower versus infantry. And of course, while he doesn't have as much anti-tank, there's still the mines that it could be laid down if you're sort of making good progress anyways. We'll of course have to see what actually ends up happening here. Bit of barbed wire down there, denying further cover here. Giap is constantly on top of that. Always trying to create this area here where he's basically having the advantage because there's no heavy cover there for his opponent in some cases. Though of course there's right here. Still of course close to the mortar. So there we go, that should actually allow him to decently hit it. Grenadiers going to flank. MD-42 remaining here in case that Gwangju pushes up for the centre. Just activating it on the right flank, and we got the pack house already up here. He is pretty quick to get one. Again, not surprising considering its current level of effectiveness. So of course the question is where he's going to fire it. Of course, another question is, of course, might it not have been more effective to go for the lieutenant and the quick M10 to sort of strike that way? Giap, that could have done a lot more damage. It could also force Giap to be a lot more careful. That could also allow him to maybe push here through the fuel pond net rather aggressively. Instead, we got here Giap with a bit more offensive momentum. Adding in a second Pioneer squad there, they're going to lead moving forwards. No sign of Doctor the Lightning War and Jaeger armor assault support compared to Gwang, who's gone straight there for the Rifle Company. Rifles singing out there against each other. Bolt action versus semi-automatics.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Grabbing a point there, pack out already, rifle moving up. Could of course consider upgrading his rifle with BAR, so that would give them a lot more firepower on the move again. That way give him a bit more advantage versus Giap's Grenadiers. Oh, they could lose Grenadiers, then the retreat, the Grenadiers flying away there. Sergeant Steiner ordering his men to just shoot as much as they can, just kill that damn dirty Yankee, but ultimately doesn't quite succeed there rather than pushing up. Gwangju does seem to be a bit more of a heavy-handed approach fan there. Rocket grenades off, there we go, excellent hit again. We've seen bases get punished for just lumping up all his troops there in cover so close together. I mean, Giap would have to be not quite right in his head not to want to try, rifle grenade that. But there goes Stewart light tank out. And right now, of course, we see that Giap himself has made a bit of a mistake, though. Again, his aggressive play. I mean, both players sort of trying to play aggressively, though I feel Gwangju is not quite playing as aggressively as he could. He, of course, went for the captain, but our way now he's rushing out the Stewart here, and of course, Giap has got nothing to really stop it. He's just getting kills there. Shooting away madly at the retreating units. Of course, it's a large chunk there of Giap's forces moving in. They've still got some units here. You could try and move this into retreat them. Instead, he's actively going into the base and trying to get all these units sort of nicely lined up and just really conduct some wipes there. But now, Gwangju needs to get out there. He needs to take up some of the points down the field, and he needs to do so aggressively and quickly before Giap can bring up something to really stop the Stewart's advance. Also looks like Gwangju can't quite decide. No, does he really want to go all in, or does he just want to pull back and deal with the rest of the battlefield and try and help control it further? Pack out, oh, not pack out, but pack 40. Both things being packed there, keep messing up there from time to time. But anyways, Stewart there striking away. Grenadier swipe, that's going to hurt Giap quite a bit. That's 2 Grenadiers gone, full support, 240 manpower lost to the Stewart, which is up to 7 kills there. The rest of the units are getting to the buildings and the lights. Now might be the time to pull back here, or at least swipe out the mortar crew as well. Careful there, Giap, careful, Grenadiers moving up, going to try and get closer to the Panzerfaust, and there we go, Gwangju might just get punished here, pack 40 almost down his Stewart's got a damaged engine, right in the enemy base. Right there, Gwangju might have gotten a bit too greedy. And now Giap's about to punish me. In fact, he still doesn't pull back the Stewart. I mean, really, he's not going to get that much more out of it, and it's going to be a huge boon there for Giap if he can get the Stewart. Right there, Gwangju basically misjudged the situation. He's about to lose a Stewart, which could have been used to keep Giap much more contained within the area, because there'd always be the threat of the Stewart sort of appearing out of nowhere and hitting him from sight. But there we go, Stewart light tank wrecked like a tin can full of explosives. Plus the rear one's got wiped. Overall, Giap actually managed to maintain quite a bit of control despite having a huge chunk of his force on the base here. Of course, that's really well played there by Giap. Some players were completely panicked, but not Giap. He sort of kept it busy in the base while he got the pack 40, and then he still managed to keep control there with only a Grenadier squad and a Pioneer squad on the field. I mean, that's really some top play there from Giap. Really well handled there versus Gwangju. Really did his best to sort of really try and punish Giap, but again, the way he handled his Stewart, a bit too greedy. Should try and push everything off the field and then sort of keep the Stewart about there while he grabbed as much territory, the more broader front, and he didn't quite materialise. Oh, Pioneer's white flamethrower dropped. Who can get it? Looks like the Grenadiers will. Looks like the Grenadiers will. And there we go. Grabbed it. Ravno are already actually free. That's definitely going to be a problem there, though, for Giap's Soldaten. Captain moving about there. MD42 cross flying away mightily for Deutschland. We got the pack out. They just continue to plug away there with the 75mm high closure shells. There we go. Captain punished by the MD42, gaining veterans while in the process. Really think he should get some BARs up there for his troops. Would really damn should have punished the Grenadiers harder. I mean, really, Giap doesn't have a lot of troops at the moment, and Riflemen with BARs would really able to deliver a lot of bullets into them, do a lot of damage that way, and actually begins to really bleeding out Giap more seriously. But I fear he might end up just equipping more flamethrowers. Certainly, flamethrowers are good, but they're not quite as effective on the move, and you can only equip one of them. Whereas with BARs, you can get a lot more, and they also have better, you know, overall range effect. So in that sense, BARs are much better for sort of more aggressive infantry play than flamethrowers. I mean, they can be good, but they also require more static opponent, and Giap isn't quite that. And even then, you know, throwing a few BARs to just still increase the firepower of the men is generally not a bad idea. By the way, Giap has weathered the storm. In fact, he's taking on here for tier 3. Good work. It is ours, yeah. It always was. It was Deutschland's. Halfway to it in one there.
We are losing a sector.
So 2 flamethrowers here so far for Gwang versus Giap. Bit of bazooka fire there. Nice hit there. There we go. Almost got a wipe there in the Grenadiers. Much to Giap's men's fortunate luck there. They didn't quite get wiped, though. They were in a pretty bad condition. He's getting more Grenadiers here. Part of me would consider maybe some Panzer Grenadiers instead. You know, more anti-infantry there. But looks like Giap is just going to go for more Grenadiers here. Support armor co-op. He could go for Stu. He could go for Flak Panzer. He could try and wait there for the Panzer IV. Meanwhile, going through there, getting an anti-tank gun. Grenadiers moving about. Noting by way not good for Giap or any doctrinal choices. So Grenadiers there arriving to fight for the fatherland. Quick Grenadiers got advancing. Ooh, barrage a bit too far there. That's not going to wake up for the 75mm gun. Rifle moving up here. This is Grenadier. Quickly extinguishing a few souls. Pioneers moving up there, advancing to Deutschland, and we got of course the M150mm anti-tank gun there ready. The Americans did later in the war actually have a bigger gun, the 75mm gun. The thing is, most 75mm guns were actually too big to be moved about by infantry, actually had to be towed about. The Pak 40 was more or less in that range, but actually was slightly lighter due to basically the Germans making some modifications to the gun shield, basically meaning it wasn't just one big plate of armor, it was actually 2 thinner plates of armor with a bit of space between them, which actually allowed them to sort of, you know, deflect shots better. And that did allow them to make the overall anti-tank gun lighter, and while it still was generally moved about with, you know, tractors or horses or whatever, it could be moved about on its own. Little fun fact there, little fun fact. But then the other big anti-tank guns generally require, you know, tractors or the like sort of move it about. Or a Jeep, I guess. They were also used for that. The Americans were a bit creative with the Jeeps at times. They even mounted mortars on them, actually. Which you generally don't see so much of in the game, or hear much about. Of course, a Jeep with a mortar on it would be pretty tricky to deal with. But it would be interesting. Osman there on the way, a lot of infantry again. Gwang now on the other going to bit on the receiving end of what he just previously did to get up with the Steward. Instead now it's a Flak Panzer with a bit more murder capabilities there for Giap. Of course, how's Gwang going to handle? I mean, he's got an anti-tank gun, but under the right circumstances, that's not going to matter too much. But certainly we got Giap here on the back foot again there as he counter-attacks here with a Flak Panzer 37mm. Doing some good hits on the rifleman. Johnny dead. My god, they got Johnny! No! And the Flak Panzer just goes on a attempt at a murdering spree here. Of course, keep in mind, a lot of your armor generally tends to perform a lot better while not moving, and the Flak Panzer is definitely one of those. It's generally pretty inaccurate while moving. Not moving, it generally performs better, so little detail there. it's generally sort of like the Americans who sort of, perform better while on the move compared to the Germans who really need to stop up and get off some decent hits. There we go. Nice timing there. Attacks the anti-tank and force a which allows the flak puncher then to get closer. Of course, it's moving, it needs time to set up there. It's a good job there by Giap. You got Cap there setting up, but he's a bit too close to the flak puncher already. Allowing the flak puncher basically sort of pushed him around, ensuring the bazooka men can't fire. Anti-tank and they're about to get cleared out. Anti-tank and crew wiped out. And there we go, main gun destroyed on the Ostwind. Main gun destroyed, good work there. But at the same time, they're going to actually manage to wipe out not only the anti-tank gun crew, but the pack crew. And there we go, the flamethrower tank first. Horribly burning Siegfried. What a way to go. Now, additional pioneers down the way for Giap. Good work there. I mean, that flak pan's going to be put together as quickly as possible. There's still no sign of a doctrine by the way there, and the gun looks a bit flaccid. Ambulance on the way here for Gwang, still no upgrades. Besides just lots of flamethrowers, need to crew his guns, needs to push back against Giap and the Wehrmacht. We got the MG42 setting up there. Ostwind being repaired. No Panzer Grenadiers yet there for Giap of the Wehrmacht. Getting just more Grenadiers there, no sign of the Panzer Grenadiers whatsoever. Pack Howitzer setting up. Major moving out, so of course he's now got access to armour. Once he has the fuel, that is, of course that's one of the problems he's struggling a bit there with. Against Mr. Giap. Bit of shooting there, rather moving up with flamethrowers. Generally flamethrowers though were not handed to stand infantry, they're sort of part of pioneer engineer units. More specialist units actually at training and using it to sort of deal with the enemy ensconced troops. So, little fun fact here.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
Austin moving out, Grenadiers moving out. And there you go, rather than pushed away there. Flak Panther punishing them pretty efficiently. Gwangju's also got munitions here for white phosphorus barrels to maybe disrupt some of Giap's position. If it comes down to that, could be effective, could be effective. Could consider some harassment here on the right flank, so at least, keep Giap occupied in the east. While he tries to solidify his hold on the west, where Giap is constantly pushing now. Oh, good lord! Direct hit there with the Pack Howitzer wiping out his pioneer squad in one hit. Good lord. That's gotta hurt. That was 200 manpower plus, I believe, of flamethrowers on that. 60 munitions on top of that. That's quite expensive. As they're taking punishing casualty from the Pack Howitzer, ever hammering away. Pioneers holding up there behind the Arkenschlepper Ost. Almost hit there by the Pack Howitzer. Black Panther bombarding, Grenadiers moving up there with that machine gun. Captain eating in the car, they fought against flying away there. The Ostwind, and too fast there, too fast. Pack Howitzer pulling back. Two rifles inside a building seems a bit excessive. But he can soon try and get a Sherman here, maybe an ET8, considering he has gone for rifle company to try and hunt down the Ostwind and deal with the remaining infantry afterwards. And we've got Panzer Grenadiers here for Giap. Panzer Grenadier on the way. Gute Arbeit. And of course we've got dogs here finally for Giap. It is Jäger armor. Might want to consider his pack forwards a bit forward, so going to support his attacking troops now. It's not really going to do that setup or position. Meanwhile, right from here, easily exposed here to the Grenadiers firing away there for Deutschland. Keep shooting, men, keep shooting. They'll run eventually. There you go, Pack Howitzer only ready now. A bit late there, a bit late. And the anti-tank gun basically in a position where it can't really react to where the actual repairs are happening, which is over here on the west side where Giap has constantly been attacking. But he can either, go for the Sherman. Now he could try and wait for the EC8. I suppose he could try and go for the Jackson. At the current situation, it's only a flat panzer he's dealing with, and there's still a lot of infantry. There's just either regular Sherman or a EC8 to sort of deal with things, and the EC8 will probably be a bit of an expense. Of course, it's more durable, which means in case Giap brings up some anti-armor of the heavier kind, it will also more time, but it's still pretty effective as his infantry, in particular against more veterancy. But no, he goes for the Jackson. He really wants to sort of hard counter that flak panzer and just knock it out.
Well done. We have forced the enemy down to 200 points.
I need a bit of trouble. Gonna be grabbing a point there. But clearly, Giap was expecting some kind of armoured response there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone for the Panzer Grenadiers with the Panzer Schrecks to try and counter that. Black Badger there gaining veterans 1, 11 kills in the name of the fatherland. Gwangju is really losing momentum here, and he's also losing initiative to Giap. Just sort of keeps up the pressure, keeps attacking, forcing Gwangju to sort of constantly react rather than act and actually push outwards. But there we go, maybe the Jackson can finally break Giap's stranglehold here on the battlefield. Again, is this sawing apart the rifle, he's attempting to flamethrowers bring up, they're burning away towards going to be 3.
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
Nice shot there. Jackson ordered to only shoot a vehicle, which makes sense, obviously, in this case, since he's got nothing that can also really hurt infantry. So, not a bad idea there. Looks like he's preparing for a large offensive in the centre, but again, he's basically forgotten all about these there. He's not even saying he's trying to bombard the building with them before using the pack cars. That could also be a good idea there for Gwangju. Really leave the east open then towards the resource there. Pioneer setting a mine. Osprey moving up here to deal with the American infantry. We've got the anti-tank opening up. Halfway to half. Well, half. There we go. Got the Osprey anti-tank opening up. The Jackson. Can the Jackson get away in time though? No! Jackson was lost. Too slow in moving it. And of course the question is really, wouldn't it have been better to at least have more health and more armor? I mean, that's the thing, the Jackson has less armor than a health, well, medium tank or even the flak panzer. I mean, it's not meant to really take a lot of damage. It does a lot, but it can't absorb a lot. And again, considering there was just mostly a lot of infantry from Giap again, I think the EC8 was the better decision for Gwangju. I mean, had this been Stooks, or had it Giap gone for a Panther, I mean, the Jackson's really a nice choice with a lot of Panther force, but there's not just a flak Panther. I mean, going for Jackson just for that just seems like the wrong choice. We do find a grenadier by the way for Gwangju, though I think we could have done with that earlier, and part of me would still say he should do better with BARs on top of the flamethrowers here. Should just really lay down a more thicker fire versus Giap's troops. Well, of course, getting like machine guns, and unlike the flamethrowers, you don't need to get close with that. Which limits, in a sense, Giap's or Gwangju's troops in what they can do versus Giap's troops without taking quite a beating in the process. I mean, remember, it's great, to have some flamethrowers, but don't just get automatically upgrading everyone because, do damage if you get close, because that's, sometimes a pretty big if. That is something you have to keep in mind there. Otherwise, you'll just bleed away and give your opponent with a lot of easy tasks. We got Stuka dropping, I don't think Gwangju's realising it. Jacob Tommy camping out, and there we go. Got the pack cards, and got the anti-tank gun crew there. Well done by Giap. Gwangju clearly not prepared for that. I mean, he can recruit them, he can repair them, but there's still a bit, of a loss there. Well, Giap's up to a second anti-tank gun, no techno feather armor. He's actually got plenty of resources, in particular a lot of fuel. Gwangju's in the hand, got plenty of munitions, but he's not utilising that either. No white phosphorus barrages, no weapon upgrades. Again, there's really opportunities there that Gwangju is missing out on against Giap. But otherwise, no, Giap always tries to keep up the pressure. He's not sort of just holding back. He's not just saying, well, this is enough, I can go on the defensive. He's always attacking, always keeping up the pressure on Gwangju, ensuring that Gwangju doesn't have much time to think. He always has to react, he always has to be busy, which rather limits how far ahead Gwangju can think. Pack-Cards grenade they're firing in. And again, the Rifleman being faced with a lot of bullets. And again, the flamethrower has a bit of its limits. It can't really be used doing a pursuit very effectively. There you go, another series of rifle grenades. That almost loses the rifle squad there entirely. If only gone for some added BARs there. He'd be in a much better situation. Still, he's gone for a lot of artillery here. He's got 2 anti-tank guns and 2 Pack-Cards. He can really fire off a lot there versus Giap. But again, it's also much slower in tempo and momentum. Almost got a wipe there. Almost, but not quite.
We are ready for action. Pack here.
Gwang preparing again for an attack here. Giap ready once more to receive with his Grenadiers. Mortars, Grenadiers moving about there. Grenadiers and Pioneers hanging about as well. There we go, forced away. Pack-Cards is bombarding, shooting and missing. Lovely. Guessing at this point he's setting up for a Sherman on EC8. He really could consider fuel cars, but overall he needs to push more aggressively. He's much too slow here. And he's supposed to be the fast aggressive faction. He's playing it a lot slower than that, whereas Giap is basically just pushing the Grenadiers and the Wehrmacht beyond its limits, but he's not really getting punished for it very hard due to Gwangju's playstyle as well there. So in that sense it's rather working out nicely for Giap here. He's actually now gone for the heavy Panzer Corps. He could then get up Panzerwerfer to bombard again. Gwangju's much more defensive force here. We'll go for a Panther Steel and Panzer. I mean, the options there are manifold. Well, he's going straight for the ambulance here. Just shooting away their Panther fast and getting suppressed here though. Captain should just move up closer. There's some submachines to just wipe them out there. Riflemen moving in there for lots of flamethrowers. Ambulance are going to need repairs. Victory points wise, we got Giap here with a huge lead, and there we go, we got the Panzerwerfer on the way. The Panzerwerfer really seems to have gotten popular as of late, by the way. People seem to be realizing now it's good. And of course, thusly also more interesting, willing to take up. And again, it also works there against players like right now who Gwangju, who suddenly decide, it's really great to go defensively. Slowly, give up a lot of the map, and of course also create some big fat targets for Panzerwerfer barrage.
Ready for action.
Also a fun fact, they actually managed to equip some Panzerwerfers with the Katyusha rocket. Specifically, the SS were rather impressed by it and actually copied or downright just took Russian rockets and mounted them on Panzerwerfers with then Katyusha rails on them. Some were used by the Wehrmacht, though. 21st Panzer Division in Normandy actually had some of those as well, but otherwise it was actually primarily the SS that used those Panzerwerfer with Katyusha rockets. It's not something you hear a lot about, and good lord, another Pioneer's got the weapon with the grenades. Small victory there for Gwangju. And there you go, Panzer barrage fighting away. Für das Vaterland. There we go, wiping out another Pack-Cards crew. Need to recruit, need to repair. And there you go, he can get the EC, in which case he should go for it and he should try again. Attack Giap harder. And again, some action here on the right flank. I mean, it's basically like the entire eastern half of the map has basically ceased to exist in Gwangju's mind. Like a vast wasteland where there is nothing to be found, and certainly not a victory point and a fuel point and a lot of other resources. Of course, also a rather exposed flank here. And the only thing there's to halt there is basically some Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Shreks. That's not going to stop a lot of infantry.
We have hammered the enemy down to 50 points.
Visiting hits. There we go. Grenadiers got suppressed. Pack-Cards just bombarding, almost killing the unit. There we go. Grenades as well. Lots of munitions still floated. No attempt at any point at really using a white phosphorus barrage there from Gwangju. And we got air recons in here for him from Giap to scout out the situation. Now to make a better, more informed decision of what to do next. And there we go. Finally got a show them they're rallying for Gwang. You got the 50 caliber on top as well. Losing to press, got a grenade off there. Inchnock didn't try to lay down a smoke screen on it. Oh, Pack 40 misses quite terribly. So, come on, Helmut. You can do better than that, but there you go. We got these here from the Pack 40s just bombarding away. Almost got it there. Sliver of health left. Thanks to, well, its health buff. Can you not move that EC8 back? I didn't know the EC8 had been completely burnt to bits there. Another Stuka drop here. Just in the midst of the chaos scene, showing that the Gwangju's too focused on the frontline units actually realise there's a artillery strike called in here. And that's actually a neat little trick. It's not something you see a lot here, but basically how it works is, I mean, a player can only really pay attention to one thing at a time. They can pay attention to other things, but it's never really high priority. They're all, used to the front line. It was something you saw a lot more than Company Heroes 1, where you just basically, artillery basically worked a lot more efficient, if you will, the call-ins, compared to now, where there's a lot much of a bigger delay and something just basically so scattered. You can call in an artillery strike and it won't hit anyone. But back then, I mean, usually one of the best artillery strikes was basically just where the opponent, wasn't focusing. Say they were harassing up there, they were fighting at the front line, then you called in something elsewhere. And they'll just usually work better because your opponent is usually too focused elsewhere when there's fighting elsewhere. And that requires a lot more, attention span and such from a player like Giap, but he actually has it. And he actually was able to take advantage of it right here against Gwang. He was just focused here, around here, still lost. And then at the same time he called in the Sugars Foods, but in Gwangju's mind he couldn't hear it. He was too focused on everything else, so when it only happened, it was already too late. He didn't have time. So a neat little trick there by Giap, a neat little trick. And again, does display that Giap here is a veteran player compared to Gwangju, who doesn't seem to be struggling a bit there. There you go, you see it has to pull back, main gun wreck, Pack 40 clipping up. Need to get that EC8 pack in functioning form there before it's too late. Giap, on the other hand, can soon go for himself for a Panther there if he wants to, and that could definitely take on the EC8 and wreck it. It certainly seems like the Pack howitzer crews here are cursed, since they always seem to get getting wiped by something. More aerial reconnaissance. Giap is suddenly very keen on knowing his opponent's movements. Also, probably he's trying to search out where the EC8 is being repaired so he can hunt it down and deal with it. Just head on assault there. No attempt at flanking either from Gwangju, but of course with the air reconnaissance out, they probably wouldn't be able to do much. So therefore almost ready to fire again, and that was also a great starting barrage. 14 kills. Smoke's been off. Finally using it. Good, Gwangju. Good. He could also try and call in a white phosphorus barrage around here, but doesn't. Almost got the MB42, the troops pushing out there. And he's actually, big mistake here from Giap. He actually moved into the smoke, getting closer to the flamethrowers. He just wiped out his own Grenadier squad, I think. He wiped out his own Grenadier squad with a Panzer. Oh no. That's actually a huge loss there. Another grenade against MB42. Almost got it. Panzer, Pack howitzer firing. Panzer pulling back, almost ready to. EC8 almost ready to get firing, and they can soon get another one, by the way. Giap saying should consider getting a Panther out now to challenge Gwangju's armour before he easily gets another EC8 out. And there they go, Panther on the way. So at least there's some progress there, but he's down to 4 victory points. I mean, again, Gwangju's been too focused on this area. He's basically forgotten about this one. He's also forgotten applying more pressure to Giap. So right now he's in a very precarious position. I mean, he could pull it through, makes really good use of the EC8 now, and perhaps gets another one. And makes use of the white phosphorus. There's a chance he could sort of pull it off versus Giap. It's going to be damn close, though. Going to be damn close. Suppressed. Need to pull back. That's EC8 there. 50 cover, though, mowing down for Heinz. Another wipe. Another wipe. Those pack houses just mean like that. Just wiping. He hasn't recruited the other one, which could have been helpful there. Pioneer's almost locked up with the Pack howitzer flamethrower trying to finish it off. The MD42 just firing into it. Needs to grenade it. Needs to grenade it. And they're all fully bunched up here. Almost got it. Panther arriving for Deutschland. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Hired up to Vaterland. Meanwhile, EC8 here. Almost wiped out. But so are the Panzer Grenadiers. Almost got the Panzer Pack 40 there. We got Sherman on the way there for Gwang. Regular one, no EC8s here. Repairing the EC8 while there's a Panzer Strike crew nearby. Panzer for the fires, doesn't even do much this time around. Good try and rifle grenade here, the Panther. We'll try and move up the anti-tanker to deal with it, but he's keeping it back there. Come on, Gwang, get it up there to the front. Shoot that crap tank. And now the EC8, they're not fully repaired. That goes in for the Panzer, but trying to wipe them. So it's about repairing there on the point. Panther moving about there. Why wouldn't he move up the anti-tanker to support there? Also use armor piercing rounds if you can. Also arriving there took so much damage trying to get that point. I mean, what purpose did it serve? No point there. I mean, that was really weird there. And he basically allowed his rifle to take huge catches there from the Panther when they could be doing a lot more and more efficiently. And he just moved up the anti-tanker there. I mean, right there, that was a bit of a fumble there. He's got the victory points now, but he's a bit of trouble. The EC moving up, not fully repaired. We got the regular show moving up there. Shot bounced off the Panther. Anti-tank gun still not turning around. And we got a Pack 40. We got an MG40 moving in there to the point. Hasn't been fully recruited that one. Get something up there. Yeah. Gwang, get the pack out up there, for example. Almost lost EC8. There we go. EC8 out of control there. Panther knocked it out. And there you go. Sherman kaput. Burning tomb. Panther moving on there. He's in something. Not upgraded machine guns to help. There's his infantry captain hanging about there. Shot penetrate the Panther's sloped 80mm of armour there. Almost got the captain and friends, almost. Head on attack here, and there we go. Game over for Gwangju. Game over. Giap won this. Giap won this overall. Giap won because he was the more aggressive one. Also the one with the clearer plan of what to do. I know because he probably sort of chose the best approach here. Gwangju, I mean, he played a lot more like a lot of American players too. The problem is, you know, I don't think he was quite aware why he did it. Because yes, he would upgrade all of his rifle with the flamethrowers, despite the situation not necessarily being the most efficient for it. I mean, had Giap, for example, dug in a lot more, flamethrowers would be good, but it was a lot more mobile, more moving battle, in which case he should have gone for BARs. Had he gone for a lot of BARs, I think Giap Gwangju could have won this. Also, perhaps a different doctrine, I don't know. Also, that Jackson was a poor choice. The situation didn't require Jackson. EC8 would have been a much better choice there. And right now, the EC8 is in fact a really good choice because I think you actually get more of it than you pay for, a lot more. And that since you'd have gone for it, I think it would have beaten Giap there quite solidly. Which only else prevented Giap from going straight for the heavy Panther core, getting a Panther rather than a Panther. But so again, while to a certain extent well played by Gwangju, it did feel like again he didn't quite understand what he was doing fully, and he just made some choices because, you know, that's what everybody else does. And here's the thing, you don't do something because everybody else does it. You try to figure out why people do it, and then if it's good, you do it, and if it's not, you don't do it. But you don't just do it. I think that was basically sort of where Gwangju sort of went ahead. And again, overall he should have been more aggressive, more offensive versus Giap, but instead he basically let Giap sort of push it back and contain him. So yeah, bit of an odd fight in some sense, but also some interesting play there as well. Some interesting play. I also think the Panther Strikes might have been a bit of a waste. I think it would have been better off for the assault rifles there versus Gwangju's troops, but there you go. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you had some fun. Hope you learned some things. Hopefully it gave you ideas matches of how to play, how not to play. If you did, want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. Press like too. That's fun. And if not, you know, you're always free to send in your own replays. If you do provide the link to where you're on the leaderboards. What level you are doesn't matter. It's where your ranking is that matters, by the way. And I'll let you know how long it is, who you are, and of course details. If you just send me in a replay with nothing else attached to it, I'm going to ignore it. Straight out. Sorry. So I hope to see you all tomorrow. Cheers.